Hey hack friends, welcome back to another Thursday with Alex. This week we're going to talk about communities and what you can find in them. We recently talked about ecosystems in Edmonton, and we talked about something like biodiversity, which meant a bunch of different creatures living in the ecosystem, all doing something a little different, but then also giving to other things. That is essentially what a community is a bunch of people all doing something a little bit different, but providing things for other people. Community in its most basic form just means a group of people working together or living in a similar area. So let's start talking about what you can find in the community. So I first wanted to talk about something that every one of you have experienced, and that is your school community. In your school community, you might see your teachers, you'll see other students, you would see the secretaries or the min staff if you came in late or you're sick. You would see your principal, hopefully only on good terms. You might see a librarian helping you find some books of reading to you, and you even might have some lunch ladies or some people coming into your classroom. Before and after school, you might see the parents of your friends. And of course, you have people like Hack that come into your school and deliver school programs. So now I wanted to talk about the different kind of schools that you would see in your community, or the different education that is provided to the community. Well, first is elementary schools, which you are all in one, which is kindergarten to grade 6 in Alberta. There's junior high schools that are grade 7s to 9. There's a high school, and if it's not right in your community, it's going to be close to your community, and you might go into the next door community so that there's enough students for the high school. In Edmonton, we're fortunate to have lots of universities, so after you're done high school, you can go to one of the different schools. There's NAIT, which has a lot of like the trades, so if you like mechanical things or engineering things, that's a great school for you. There's MacEwan, which is a very prominent business school. And then there's the University of Alberta, which has also a great engineering program and education and a lot of great programs. So these are all the schools that are offered to you and to the community to educate our people. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, other than where we live all together, which is kind of the geographical way that the community comes together, is where we all live together, is how we get our food in our community. There's a few ways here in Edmonton. We have the traditional grocery stores like Safeway. We also have farmer markets where the community gathers and the farmers come into a place and sell all of their amazing produce to the different customers. And then there's also greenhouses. So we've covered education in the community, grocery stores, housing, and now we're going to cover healthcare and all the different things we can provide for health and wellness in our community. So first is the big emergencies, or the really long-term care, and those are your hospitals. The next is the walk-in clinic. So they are the ones that are going to see you if you have a cold. There's the urgent care. So if there's a really serious issue, you should go to the urgent care if it's in your community over the hospital. But if you don't have an urgent care in your community, well then of course you can go to a hospital. We have different services like dental, so for your teeth, pharmacy, which makes the medicine for people to take, and optometry, which is for your eyes. There's also doctors for the mind, which are called psychologists, and they have different offices in your community. There's also family care clinics, so that is where your entire family can go. Alberta is starting to really develop what's called mental health services. So these are for people whose mind are feeling injured or ill. And there's also mental health wellness clinics. Last but not least, of course, there are vet doctors. The next one are the emergency services. These are the ones we see making lots of loud sounds on the streets. There's the firemen in their fire trucks. There are also ambulance stations that have emergency medical technicians responding in ambulances. There are police stations with policemen who are dispatched in their police cars. Other services that the city would provide for all communities are waste management services, where you drive your different recycles, so your cans and your newspapers, to these facilities to be recycled. We also have things called eco stations for the community, so that's if you have batteries or paint or things that aren't really good to go into the ground, you can bring to an eco station. We also have transit stations, so being able to move on buses or the LRT, and even on trains. So what do we do for fun in our community? Well, there's a lot of different things. One you can do is shopping. So there's a lot of different specialty stores, whether that be a bookstore, a record store, a salon where people get their haircuts, technology stores to buy technology pieces. There's even like video game stores to buy games. You have comic book stores. There's even like craft stores. There's also hobby stores where you can like make planes or trains or all these little things that people have for hobbies. So there's lots of little different things you can buy in the community that provide us entertainment. All communities have a lot of outdoor or recreation parts of the community so that people can exercise. So parks are a great example. There's also a lot of amazing bike paths in Edmonton. There's outdoor pools. There's the public libraries. There's recreation centers, which usually have pools and gyms and skating rinks and soccer rinks. There's also our community garden, which we talked about last week. Edmonton has an amazing zoo that people can go to. There's the art gallery. This is the Alberta Art Gallery. There's a Royal Alberta Museum that just opened up recently. Also places that have like venues like the Winspear Center. This is where people watch concerts. We also have festival grounds. So this is a big open area where you can have big festivals like K-Days. We also have hockey rinks where people can go play hockey. We have soccer fields, baseball fields, basketball courts. We have golf courses. We even have track and field tracks. We have skate parks. We have picnic sites, which we've been doing a lot during these quarantine times. We even have movie theaters, cafes, restaurants. So there's a lot of really cool things that we can do in our community, and this is because of the diversity of people providing all these diverse services for us to be able to do. One of the last things I wanted to talk about was the nonprofit sector, or the nonprofit businesses, which means businesses that are here to really truly help the community and not to make money. And so one of those is Action for Healthy Communities, which is part of this HACC program, helping a lot of immigrant families and a lot of schools with the services they need to settle into the community or find the health information they need to live better lives. One of the really common things I want to highlight were the ideas of friendship centers, and this is the Indigenous people of Canada creating centers to create friendships, I guess, in the easiest way to describe it. There's also cultural centers, and these are places where similar people in cultural groups will practice their culture together. So there's definitely Indigenous culture centers. I've seen Italian culture center. I've seen the German culture center, the Mexican culture center. These are people with similar ancestry and culture that come together to celebrate together. And one of the last services I want to highlight are our services like the media, so radio and news that we all get on our TV and our radio station. That's also another service that we can find in our community. I bet you didn't think that there were so many things that you could find in our community. I for sure did not even realize how many different things there were until I started brainstorming this list myself. There is a lot of great things, and it's important to try to keep connecting with our community and putting ourselves out there because belonging to our community is really what creates long-lasting health and wellness. And I'm sure every different kind of person will find that there are different little places in the community that is able to give back. So I hope you enjoyed learning what communities are and what kind of services we have. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.